Audio check, sound check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Audio check, sound check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Screen check, test. Good morning, good evening to all of you. This is Param here. We welcome you to the demo session on the HANA SP12. The demo session is recorded and will be sent later after the session. The study materials, your system access will be provided by the training support. You have a free download of the materials and the recording. Please contact the training support for more details. So today in the demo session, we will have an understanding about the highlight or the outline of the training program in SP12, the latest support pack on the SAP HANA 2.2 version. I'll first introduce myself. My name is Param, and I will be your trainer in all the sessions. I'm SAP HANA Certified Associate Application Consultant, SAP HANA Certified Technical Administrator, SAP HANA Certified Professional Master Certification for Architects. In due course of this training program, online training session, we will also take your queries over the chat box. You can type your questions or use the questions box. And towards the end of the session, you can click on the raise hand icon when we open for audio questions. You can unmute, or the training team will unmute when you click on the raise hand icon. Once you enroll for the program, you can also do the recording at the local computers. The training program here will primarily focus on the academic certification syllabus for application consultant certification and the extended advanced session for the administrators. Besides the academic list of topics, we'll also get into some of the troubleshooting, the best practices, the design approach recommended by the SAP, and our own project in terms of the proof of concept, academic project. I'll also share my experience in terms of the workaround solutions, the technical troubleshooting in terms of the HANA transports, reporting, and some of the customer examples as lesson learned and how we derive our own use cases in terms of the solutioning. We'll discuss those in one of the advanced sessions. So today, for the demo, we have outlined some part of the training program, which is basically the list of the topics that we will get to know here. And the list of topics will help everybody to be able to track the session and what is coming up next, and then to also have a reference. We'll also check into the architecture as an overview about the HANA process flow. How does it start and where does it end? The complete life cycle as a highlight. For the training program, we will also engage step by step. A quick system demo to understand how you log in and to explore HANA Studio as a beginner. Then project proof of concept. This is for our own academic project. So learning HANA and developing HANA solution, we will perform those with a guideline as a project proof of concept. We'll have certain deliverables required. We'll also work with the terminologies and then be able to define data models, run the transports, provide the security authorizations, and thereafter execute the reporting. So the project outline I'll show everybody today here in this demo. the document, the template, and we're going to follow that template for our project work. Then, of course, study materials for your certification preparation and interview preparation, certain FAQs over here to have the final confidence at the end of the program and you're ready for certification and interviews. So let's get started with the list of the topics. So first up, session 1, we have the foundation. This is to get an awareness about the framework, the terminologies, some basic overview about what is HANA, what does it offer, and how it is different from the other systems, and what are the business values, and how do you deploy it. These are some part of the foundation. Then architecture, process flow, then data loading, using the SAP-approved data loading tools, like the SLT and the BODS. We're going to work with these tools. We'll check how it is configured by the administration and how you replicate, and likewise perform a live data loading from a live source, live replicator, and live HANA target. Then data modeling in terms of the activities for the design, drag, drop, and deploy for multiple business scenarios. Could be the finance, could be the sales distribution or supply chain or PLM or inventory or warehouse management. We have different data model options. There are also SAP given or SAP provided data models that we can use. So even if I am not from SAP background, I can still leverage my functional experience and knowledge base to start working here in HANA directly by the HANA data models given by SAP. So I might be a CRM consultant, but not from SAP. I have experience working with Salesforce.com, for example. Or I might be a report writer working with Cognos and MicroStrategy or Tableau, and I would like to see and learn how we engage HANA from a data modeling and reporting standpoint. Or I might be a security consultant with the basis, or transport from the basis, or a programmer, for example, developer, data modeling, or an application consultant from SAP or not from SAP. We have something for everybody here in the data modeling. And that gives every consultant the option to leverage your existing experience and take it forward. For the reporting, lesson number 6, reporting tools, primarily the business objects reporting tools, whereby the Explorer, dashboards, Crystal reports, Analysis Office, IDT. These are some of the existing PopJ. Then you got PopJ Design Studio, SAP Lumira, NetWeaver Business Client, SAP Predictive Analytics. These are some of the reporting tools that prescribed for SAP HANA customers. We'll get to know each of these tools in a reporting session. Then some part of the administration, including the backup, installation, upgrade, configuration. Then single sign-on with the security authorization and the roles and the user types, and multiple privileges given by HANA for more integrated user security and user management. Then additional topics which is very much expected. If I go as a HANA trained consultant, not just HANA data modeling, but also there are questions or discussions around about these new dimension tools. If I'm a project manager, you'll have questions from solution manager, how we engage HANA projects, change management, BW consultants or BW HANA, business functional consultants with rapid deployment solution for HANA, statistics and data mining consultants for predictive analytics, or data services, the web developer, designer, SAP Fiori, HANA Lives, the business suite on HANA, then the new S4. So these are some of the additional tools beyond the academic syllabus, which are more frequently discussed in the interview and customer engagements. We've added here with an additional session. And last is for certification prep. And from a training program, providing training for the past 3.5 years, all the participants who went to engage for certification examination with their employer and SAP sponsored or as an individual, they were able to clear the exam 100% pass for all the participants from the training. You can also check the testimonials. And likewise, we also recommend the certification for this current batch also because certification brings in more weightage. And SAP HANA is fairly new in the SAP consulting community itself. There are over 300,000 customers who are working with SAP and who have their SAP installed base systems. Now, all of these customers would like to know what is HANA. How do you engage? What are the deployment options? What are the use cases? What are the possible business benefits that can be derived and by reducing the TCO, the total cost of ownership? So the certification will bring in more weightage to all of us if you're certified. And therefore, the certification questions are provided at the later part of the program. We'll also share some questions with the right answers, and of course, interview questions, FAQs, for your future reference. So these are the list of the topics. Let's quickly go into the system and try and log in and work with the exploration in the HANA Studio. So what I'm going to do right now is to log in into the system and then be able to understand the steps on how do you open up the HANA application interface, the HANA Studio, and also to investigate some of the standard data models provided by the SAP, and just to have an awareness about system access. Okay, so let's go over to run. So I'm going to go for run command in my computer. If you're using a Apple device, you have to download a application from Apple Store, App Store, and then connect to the remote desktop. It is going to connect to a Windows computer where you have the systems installed with the different tools. The IP address will be provided by the support. We have two levels of support. One is the tech support and the other one is the basis support. The tech support will provide you the system access. Any other additional administration support will be provided by the basis from the hardware vendor team. The hardware vendor is VMware. So connect with the respective IP address and user name, and every user will have your own individual unique password. For me, I type my password here and then enter into the remote desktop computer. Now, we don't need to install any software, middleware in our local computer. This is a private managed network, and you can access this private managed network or the remote desktop anywhere around or anytime around the world. So this IP address is available for all the trainees. Now, once I enter here on my local desktop, which I can customize accordingly, I have multiple shortcuts. One of the shortcuts over here is the HANA Studio. I can also go here, Start, All Programs, and then go here and check out what are the tools that are available installed. So, for example, for reporting, these are multiple BOP-J reporting tools, including the predictive analytics, the Design Studio, which is as a part of the BOP-J Design Studio, which is a new tool that replaced the dashboard, and then of course SAP Lumira, and Data Services 4.2, the latest ETL for HANA approved by SAP. Then I have the front end, then I got SAP HANA over here. So go in here and click on to SAP HANA Studio. SAP HANA Studio is built with the Eclipse in Apache from the open source, and they also have SAP network connectors. Now, SAP HANA Studio is the primary interface to engage the HANA system from multiple angles of the consulting, for programmers, for administrators, for data modeling, for report writers, even for the end users who are technically, they have a technical knowledge base. They can also work with the HANA Studio. So in my landing screen I have customized, but ideally when you have your system access for the first time, you have a welcome page. The landing page, the welcome is the first page that you have when you log in for the first time. Later you can organize and customize the way you would like to work according to your role, and customize your screen, design, have different colors. You can do that later. In the landing page, in the welcome page, we have the administration access to the hyperlink for basis administration. Every system needs an administration to run the backup, recovery, diagnosis, tracing, including the lifecycle management for the upgrades over here. These are administrator access. The user application consultant access is right here, modeling and developments. These are the two major areas that we will work in our training program. Then also we'll check the administration and lifecycle management later at the advanced stage. We take up step by step. Now, if you also want to investigate and download certain training materials or documentation reference materials, you can go in here and click What's New, SP12, or Help Content, or get a download of complete set of all the documentation given by the SAP for the public domain. These downloads can be in the PDF format or the HTML. Last, over here is for support. So I'm going to go here directly to the modeler. I'm going to click on this link. It will redirect the user to this landing area. Let me do a reset, or just reset directly by opening the quick view also. So we will be able to navigate as we speak with our system access. Now over here I have the system, HANA systems that are connected. If you don't have a system in your project training or in your actual customer system, you can add your new HANA system if it is on-premise, or if the HANA is on the cloud, you use this option. Both ways, you can add a system with the details given by your administrator and the hardware vendor. Now, to investigate what is the support pack and the version of the HANA system that we're all going to get trained on, you have here is the administration screen. Okay, so first started service 1st of June, just a few days back. And what is the version over here? We see 1.120. The 120 here is the support pack SP12. So by going here into the version, we get to know what is the support pack version of the HANA. One of the common interview questions is, if I say that I am HANA trained, the interviewer will definitely ask, what is a support pack that you get trained on? And how do you find a support pack? I can also click on the version history. So it was 102, which is SP10, directly to SP12 release. That's the version history. And who is the hardware vendor? VMware. So hardware vendors which are SAP approved will be only those authorized vendors to install, configure, and maintain the enterprise server of HANA. So we get to know some of these basic details by logging into the system. Now, let's close this tab. We'll come back in our advanced session about further details from the administration standpoint. Now here, I also have the left-hand side with the folders. If I expand on the left-hand side of the screen, the folders. So what's here? You have systems they can connect. You can add more systems if you're authorized. And where you use the list, if you're working with a development of one of the objects for the view package, you can see where else it is used. The properties of the object, the job log, current or history, and then the quick launch or the quick view so that you can easily directly navigate with these links. One of the links over here is the data provisioning. For the demo, we're just going to click here and check, for example, for the H10 system, and check the replication. Now, replication means or implies data loading at the real time. It's going to replicate the structure of the table and then the contents. That is replication. So right now as we speak, there are multiple live replication going on. Where it is getting replicated into, meaning in HANA, where does it get stored? It gets stored in the catalog on the left-hand side. So these folders you see here, backup, this is for the DBA to start some backup and recovery. Then catalog is where the tables are stored with the actual data. They're stored in multiple containers, like here folders. And the folder name in our case is ECC HANA. And expand this folder. And I get to see here tables. You can expand the tables. And these are the tables that are replicated. I can replicate more tables. Live. Session number 3 will understand more details about the framework of the HANA data replication services and which type of replicator are we going to use to bring data into HANA. Because only after you bring data into HANA, then we'll be able to leverage the HANA capabilities. That's why data replication in real time is one of the important mandatory components in every HANA projects. So these are the tables. Likewise, you also see certain predefined contents, meaning the SAP predefined business scenario. So you have here under the content, and you will be able to directly go here, scroll down to SAP. There will be a folder, SAP folder, and we'll have some predefined ERP or business content data models over here. PS, likewise SD. We'll get to know more details as we go along with the program. Now I'm going to go back into the slides and continue with some of the details in terms of the process flow. So we have seen just now the replication just as a quick highlight on how we work with the HANA over here. So here in the slide, this is the basic process flow, the bottom-up approach, and we will learn about the architecture more details in our training program, but this is a quick overview. You'll have different layers, and each of these layers have their own unique value proposition. Yep. So we will be following the certification syllabus. And the certification topics, and likewise you'll have your certification study materials. Yep. Okay, let's go on with the slides. Then the next information within the program is to also conduct a project work. The project work will provide us the necessary hands-on, not the theory or not the basic terminology, but the hands-on. So hands-on will give us the extra confidence that we know how to create and not just give some random names, but to follow a naming standard and to understand the common deliverables from a design, deployment, reporting perspective, the common deliverables by taking one of the business scenario. We can use this template as an outline for our training, for our hands-on. I will show you a live example, and then I will show you on the screen how to create according to the best practices. And then once we understand the project work, then you can design your own project use cases for sales distribution, for material management, for HR, or you may have some Excel file that you can upload by masking some KPIs. Design your own use cases and do the reporting, live use cases. If you're security, then you can also create user, design respective roles and grant and revoke. If you're basis, you can run some diagnostics and do the backup, do some part of the lifecycle management. If you're a report writer, you can focus more on reporting in the BOBJ. Likewise, so the reporting and the various deliverables are included here in the project POC. That is what is important primarily from a engagement perspective. Next, for your certification preparation, the certification preparation will require you to go with these study materials. These are SAP approved and SAP reference material for your certification. Okay. Yep, I will take every question. I have a question from Nikunj Thakur. I got a question from Raj. We'll take every question in a couple of minutes. Right. All right, so this is the certification materials, and these certification materials are recommended for preparing for your certification. And we strongly recommend certification because HANA is fairly new, and we would also like to advance our skills and bring more weightage with the certification, thereby enhancing our career into the SAP HANA consulting, and certification is recommended from our training. Please also refer the testimonials from our website, www.techetraining.com/testimonials. You'll have a previous certified consultants giving us the feedbacks and their experience. Then you have here the information for the server access, which will be provided by the training team. 2 months server access. More details, please contact the support staff. Your study materials, resume preparation, project assistance, please contact the training staff. So they will be available over the Skype. They're available on the telephone lines, and likewise the Viper and WhatsApp number and Gmail, you can get the information from the training support. So let's take up your queries. Let me open the context slide and I will take up your questions. Okay, so I have a question from Himanshu.
Yeah, hi, Param. Good morning.
Good morning.
Param, I'm basically from a PW background, so I have a question, in relation to that. So what I see here is that we do have ETL, we do have modeling, and we do have reporting in HANA. So do we still need BW? I understand that we cannot replace it in one day, but what's the future of BW in this case?
Well, yes, that's a very relevant and frequent question. Well, BW being an application server, we have utilized BW in multiple cases. One of the cases to have data warehousing, And another common case is to have planning data where we have aggregation for our BPS, and we have our earlier products like the BCS and IP, and now we got BPC, and today we got IBP. So these planning tools need an aggregation layer which is offered by the BW and not by ERP or other systems. So BW is very much intact. It will be still a system which will go forward. And BW not only becomes faster when you bring in HANA, but BW becomes more powerful in terms of real-time analytics and data mining capabilities, and merging and unifying multiple OLAP. Let's say customer implementing Microsoft BI or Oracle Data Warehouse would like to merge those OLAP cubes and queries. We cannot do that in HANA directly because HANA offers a database platform, not application. So we need an application server that does these unification. Therefore, BW very much required, and it will continue to be offered from the SAP, and it will be again, a long-term roadmap. Now we got BW 7.6 released within the testing team for beta testing within SAP community for SAP Labs. BW 7.4 is what is generally available for customer. BW 7.5 is getting released in another couple of months. In terms of getting more value proposition from SAP and also to derive the business benefit, especially when it comes to the HANA ecosystem, whereby HANA offers a single platform for database, BW offers a single platform for data unification from a data warehousing standpoint. Otherwise, you got other ERP and CRM that offers the actuals. So this will be always intact, and HANA will not replace BW in the long term or in the future roadmap from the SAP standpoint.
Mm-hmm. So basically, if I go to a client and they do not have BW, right? So they have to take this decision that okay, they want to go on BW or they want to go on SAP HANA. Then what are the considerations? So what exactly we have to see there?
Well, for net new customer, for the greenfields, you can directly go with the HANA and business objects if it is a small scale. If it is a large scale customer, then you also have to think about the planning data. Where do you would like to leverage the planning data? We can also use third party like Hyperion and others, but BW will be recommended, especially for larger data. For customers with large data set. Let's say if you're looking at, for example, beyond the 5 terabyte range of BW production, then you need a BW data, or beyond 5 terabytes of application transaction data in the database, you need a BW, and that is recommended. And today, BW 7.4 is part of the S4 engagement option also, and it's more of a unification approach given by SAP. So for net new greenfields, BW may be required if you have bulk data. If it is a beginning of the stage and you just go for HANA, then you can go for business objects reporting with the HANA directly. And slowly over the system, as system gets matured, you can introduce the BW, especially if you want to use the planning and integration and scalable ERP system with HANA.
Okay. One last question. So in this training session, right, so how much will cover that? Because I see that it's part of the additional sessions, right, that BW on HANA. So it will be one session for an hour or so, or how much will be covering that? Because I definitely like to understand, how we are implementing, all those solutions which we are doing the traditional BW environment, right? That is the LO and inventory, all those LO stuff, and all other FI things as well.
Right. So from an extraction standpoint, it is the same extractors available, but there is a new addition offered with the BODS ODP functionality outside of BW. That is important for BW consultant and extraction standpoint. So we can discuss in session number 3 about the extractor-based data loading. that comes from the BW. And then session 11 will have a understanding about the new info providers, the new features that are offered in BW. Not the basic details, but what is changed when you come over to the BW and HANA, and how the migration take place, and how the sizing. What about a business case study? So we'll have some of those discussion in additional session, because here the certification question will not be based on the BW HANA, although from a real world engagement perspective, you might be looking for BW level of changes, and therefore we put that in the additional session. So we'll have one particular session discussing about BW HANA and some other additional tools, and that will give you the extra confidence. Plus the study material in the previous slide, the BW362, that will give you the BW HANA, and we'll also have BW HANA system access. In fact, we got 2 BW servers. Let's have a check. This is one of the required knowledge base. Therefore, the system is provided with 2 BW, 2 HANA server, and 2 ERPs, so that we can compare before and after HANA. And that gives us, everybody, a confidence. So BW on HANA, BW not on HANA, then ERP not on HANA, and ERP on the HANA system with the add-on, and then replicator. So it provides us the comparison before-after for both the BW and ERP before-after HANA, what changes, and you can also explore with your system access. I'll give you the highlights. And everybody can also have direct questions over the email, then we'll be able to take it forward. But primary agenda is the academic syllabus. Beyond the academic syllabus, we can continue to practice more and send in your queries. But session 11 will have the new changes, not the basic, but the new changes the BW HANA has to offer.
Mm-hmm. So offline means queries can be answered, right?
Yes,
or
absolutely.
email or something. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Param.
Let's move over to the next question from Nikunj. Okay, looks like there is some audio issue. Let's go over to the next question from Raj.
This is Raj. I am basically a basis administrator, and I am looking for installation and administration, and this course doesn't seem to cover the installation part. I'm wondering if you have a different training for, especially for basis people or administrators. Or do you have any additional sessions, like add-on sessions to this to cover the installation?
Yep. Installation is authorized only to the hardware vendors. Even the basis cannot do an installation unless you're part of the consortium of the hardware vendors approved by the SAP. So you can refer here lesson number 7, 7.6, installation, upgrade. Okay. Some part of the system monitoring, tracing, diagnostics, server services, configuration. These are part of the basis area, and then security authorization. And then you also have transports for basis administrators. So those are the topics that are relevant for the basis administrator and from certification standpoint as well.
Okay, then in that case, I have a guide, TZH200, which says installation and administration. Do we have any of the topics from that guide in this training anywhere?
Yes, TZ, that's the older version.
Okay,
so we
yeah,
provide
probably.
the new new document, which is directly HA200.
Okay, all right, got it.
So HA100 is the basic overview, 200 is the basis administration guide, HA300 is for the developer, HA350 is for the extractors, HA400 is for the BAPers, HA900 is for the ERP, the subject matter expert, functional consultant, and then BW362 is for the BW HANA, and then other related documents.
So a person, a basis administrator with HANA experience, doesn't do installation at all?
No, installation today is already done on the factories of the hardware vendors.
Okay.
Installation is not done on premise. It's already pre-configured, pre-installed HANA, and other parts of, including host settings, is already done in the factories, and later they're shipped over to the customer. So Basis will directly take the hand-holding from the hardware vendor, and then further configure, let's say, replication, connection, configuration, RFC destination, and setting up the users, and then the connection to the BOP-J, for example, IDT, and define single sign-on, run the transport routes, and then work with this regular backup recovery, administration, diagnosis, even upgrade and lifecycle management. So those are the regular Basis tasks which are offered in the guide, HA200.
Okay. So what is the certification for Basis? Like, is that HA200, which gives certified HANA, consultant
Basis?
or something for Basis?
Yes. Correct.
Okay.
Yes. There are certification codes. We will share that in the final preparation session, which is dedicated for certification. In fact, there are 7 types of certification in HANA. So we will discuss those as we proceed.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. Let me go back to the context slide so everybody has the contact details. Let's go over to, let's go back quickly to Nikunj. I think if he has got audio, you're not able to be unmuted. I cannot unmute you. Then let's proceed over to next from Sitapati. All right, I have next question from Vinod.
Yeah, hi. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, the same question. I just missed that related to the. It's just like I'm Basis guy. I'm looking for that HANA 200. So are we going to cover all the topics just like installation, upgrade, and all?
Yeah, the important points from the installation standpoint. For example, operating system installation. We will not have access to OS. For OS, access is taken from the vendor, but we'll be able to see the installation because today installation OS access is with the vendor. And after the hand-holding, after 3 years of the installation, according to the consortium agreement, then the hardware vendor will hand it over to the Basis team that is from SI or from customer. In that case, then you may have access to the party access. But right now, it is within the hardware vendor like IBM and Cisco and Dell, Hitachi, NEC, VMware. They have the complete access from the installation standpoint. So what we're going to learn here is major installation point configuration of the hosts, and then the workaround solution with the LMC. If LMC not installed, then how do you do the upgrade, support back upgrade? What are the major steps you do have a backup recovery, option align, snapshot storage, and do the upgrade of the patching of the SAP host agent, and then to perform the next level of the activities related to the kernel, and then have a enhancement to the LM structure with the SVM software update manager. So these are some of the steps that we will discuss in our administration session. So that is in alignment with the SAP academic syllabus for certification.
But is there any hands-on on the HANA server? Because just like I would like to install and do the configuration from scratch. So is there any hands-on available in this training?
No, it is not available from SAP at all. The actual installation is only through the hardware vendors.
Okay.
What we can access here is, let's say if I go here, from the configuration, INI config point of view. So if I go on top, I get to open the administration console. And you see the hardware vendor over here is the VMware. So VMware will be authorized to manage this server. And in terms of the components for the ports, 2 types of ports and multiple services. for server services. You can start, restart, or start missing services, or kill, or reconfigure. And for
just
basis
like the
administration,
restarting the system. Yeah.
restarting system is here. Restarting is over here. But we do not recommend the restarting of the complete system as we would do in the basis. But here we start only the missing services. For example, demo for replication configuration. If you go back here in the INI configuration, and let's say you're adding native HANA with enterprise, you have to go here and then extend one of the parameters, for example, extended services engine from 0 to 1 or 2 with ERP and BW HANA. You can make the change here, and then you have to start the missing services. In this case, the missing services is a daemon. So you go back up here and start the missing service. These are some of the basic administration day-to-day activities. Hosts. Host is configured at the AutoYast 720 once in the installation of the OS. Configuring and creating cluster for the host is done by the OS consultants, like OS alerts, performance management, tracing. You got 8 types of tracing for the basis. Each of these trace cases can be configured as a TRC or monitored in the diagnostics. So these are some of the system monitoring basis administration tasks. The installation is directly handed over by the hardware vendor and not by the basis. It will be, except if you're working with the hardware vendor, you'll be able to also do the installation. We got separate document for installation and what we have to do. And if the LM structure is optional, what we can perform in terms of workaround solution if LM structure is missing, and how do you do a workaround solution. So those parts are in the additional session and for the basis administration. So
also just like the support pack upgrade is also not there, right?
The upgrade is here. We can check the steps. We are already on 12. No hands-on, just the overview about what you have to take care in the upgrade. Complete system backup. For example, if you go here, open backup console, you also have a new tab of backup, the snapshot storage, which is realigned for the last backup point and next backup, which was not earlier available in Oracle and others. So you can arrange a snapshot storage component for preparing the backup, for buffering of the backup points, and then start the backup from the last backup point. And configuration for the save points, the log save points, and the snapshot storage. This can be configured here. So these are some part of the DBA activity for the basis. Then the administration for user and roles management. And single sign-on and transport. So those are the basis tasks.
So just this is just hands-on things, and in terms of certification, so are you going to provide me the PDFs, HA 100 and 200 latest one, material for the certification?
Yes, as indicated in the slides, the study materials are offered.
So what will be the latest PDF as of now available? SP12 or SP10 or 11?
The study material are the SP8, 9, 10, but you have the download available for PDF for SP12 release notes. So if you go here and open help, you want to see the HTML help, then you can check here, help contents. So that is going to provide the HTML version of the help contents, or I can download a complete set of the PDF free of cost from the
actually as of now, SP10 is in the certification as of now, I think. So we need HA 100 and 200 of SP10 or 12, whatever, with you.
You can start referring from SP8. There is no particular change in the certification SP8 to 10. You have to download the SP10 release notes. That's it. Certification is not based directly on the technical difference between the support pack. Certification questions are the theory question, the basic question, terminologies, definitions that will be part of the certification.
So we'll be able to clear the technical certificate SAP HANA via this training?
Yes, we've been proving that for the past 3.5 years. You can check the testimonials.
Okay, that would be great because my main motto is some hands-on and certification.
Absolutely, yep.
Yeah, what will be the duration of this course? Sorry, I think so I missed the initial session.
Yep, it will be for 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks. On weekdays or weekend?
It is weekdays,
Okay.
but it's Monday to Saturday.
Yeah, okay. That would be great. That means within a month it will be complete.
Yep, 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, so that was Vinod. Let's go over to earlier question from Raj. Raj, are you going to cover any migration scenario, ERP business suite strategy migration? Yep, so those are some of the additionals. We will discuss that in session number 11, the migration path, migration detail, strategies, consulting, GTM for S4. But as for more details, you have a separate S4 training program if you'd like to also engage in the S4 consulting. But some basic will be covered here in the session number 11. Next question from Raj. Raj, you can cover HANA security. Absolutely, yes. You can refer to the training list of documents. The user management, roles management, and security authorization. There are 5 categories of the authorization in HANA. So if I go here to the administration for users and roles, for example, to the security folder, and open one of the existing user, for example, here, and we get to see multiple privileges. You have here system privileges, object privileges, and then you have the analytic privileges for reporting, package privileges for development and applications running on HANA application privileges. So each of these privileges have their own authorization, control, and restriction at the user level, object level, report level, transaction, database, table levels. So we will be able to work with the user roles management with some hands-on, and of course do the SSO, single sign-on from Bob JCMC. Answer is yes. Let's go over to the next question from Ravi.
Hi, Param. This is Ravi.
Go on.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I have a couple of questions. I am basically from ABAP and PI integration. So is anything on this course, in modeling course or provisioning, is anywhere that we have to write any ABAP code, or it is a complete graphical?
Yes, from an ABAP standpoint, there are options, because when you bring the ERP on HANA, ERP building block is ABAP. Likewise, BW on HANA, BW building block is ABAP. Likewise, CRM. So all the ABAP application service can be mounted on top of HANA. So once it is mounted with the migration, what happens next? So there are ABAP perspective, which is to bring in the ABAP coding, possible in the HANA Studio directly and leverage the ABAP repository objects. Now I'm going to go here back into the HANA Studio, and I have at the right-hand side corner the ABAP box. If I click here on this link, it is going to allow the user to have an ABAP interfacing for the ERP running on HANA or any application running on top of HANA, especially SAP Application Service. We will be able to leverage that over here.
Okay, so that is looks like that's completely different topic than this course.
Yep, so it is in HA 400, the study material, and we'll also discuss about the ABAP level of changes, especially for custom codes. Okay. So what happens after, if your ERP custom code, standard codes will be automatically realigned when you bring the ERP enhancement pack 7, the ERP on top of HANA, that will be auto-aligned. But what about the custom codes? So we will have option to call standard or customize ABAP program function module, manage the DB procedures, or include programs or function group of function modules, or ABAP include with ABAP repository objects, table types. We can define all of those right here. And right now I'm opening one of the existing include over here, and I can use the ABAP editor. But in fact, what I can also do is call it an ABAP T code. For example, a standard VA012 have sales order creation, and also custom design our own standard code. So this is newly introduced in the HANA database, and this becomes a mandatory for all the ABAPers with the HA400 document to refer and accordingly go for the ABAP certification on HANA with this course. But that also requires the ABAPer to have an understanding about the HANA views. And there are also something new called as the ABAP CDS, ABAP Core Data Service. You can also do a Google search. ABAP CDS is a new gateway that brings in the application logic interface to the database after the ERP migrates on HANA. So that is a new initiative starting SP10 onwards, and your system access will give you the complete area, and I will also give you certain highlights in the additional session about creating an ABAP repository object in SE80 and bringing that here, referencing the ABAP CDS view. So those are the new changes, and that is important, mandatory for all the ABAPers to learn HA400 because ERP, CRM, SRM Business Suite is getting migrated on HANA. Now, what happens next is the ABAP customizing realignments.
So is HA400 is, are you going to cover as part of this course?
HA400 is a reference material. So
okay.
We are going to use the HA400 as a reference. What we're going to discuss here in the program are the new changes about ABAP level changes. We will not learn about basic how to create a ABAP program, but how do you leverage an ABAP program for ERP running on HANA. The new changes which are offered from HANA, we're going to learn that, a new ABAP editor with the CDS, Core Data Services.
Okay, so coming to this topic of this course, which is SP12 HANA, what are the major differences between 11 and 12?
Well, 11 and 12, the major change is in security authorization and single sign-on. And the new adapter created for S/4HANA for cloud services. So that's a new change. And the other change are some of the remediation code and bug fixture that we had some performance bug issue in the SP11, which is now resolved in SP12. So we'll have a document. In fact, the document is already prepared by the support staff. These documents will help you understand the difference between support packs, starting earlier support pack 3 onwards to SP support pack 12. The SAP has released a document like release note comparing support pack as a free download for the public domain in help.sap.com/HANA.
Yeah, one more question. If I'm planning to sit on SP11 certification exam because that's the latest one, I guess, right?
Yep, certification is still based on SP10, SP8.
I think there is one for SP11 also. That's what I found in the trainings.
Yeah, that is the 141. Yeah, 141 code. So certification code, in fact, there are 7 types of certification. Each certification type has 3 subtypes of the examination codes. 141, 142, 151, and then for S4 there is...
Correct. Yeah. I'm 151 is the, I think it is the 2015 edition.
Yes.
With this, which is SP11. Correct?
Yes. Yeah, it is based on SP10. SP9 revision 93. I will give you more details in our certification session.
Yeah, and like a previous one of the colleague has asked, like what. Because you mentioned that certification materials are you going to provide like older versions. How do we cover the certification content for the Delta? That means you are giving a SP10 documents to us. You are teaching SP12. If you want
and
to
we are providing the Delta documents between 9, 10, 11, 12. release documents.
Okay. So those are going to be help us for exam preparation, correct?
Plus interview preparation.
Plus interview. Okay, great. Thank you. That's all I have now.
Yep. All right. So I'll go back. Question box from Raj. Raj, planning to have S4 Simple Finance, Simple Logics is a combined S4, so that is a separate course. Next, from Raj, once you complete the course, going to be available questions and answer? Absolutely, yes, definitely. So that is in alignment with my assistants and my support and my associate consultants who will be able to help you in your project issues even after the training. And I'm still in touch with all my previous participants who are working with the HANA projects and customer engagements, pre-sales and GTM, and therefore we're also continuing the support to all the participants even after training is completed. So everybody has the phone number, contact details, and I'll also provide my email, which I'm available, not on the telephone because telephone I work with other customer engagements. So email I'll regularly check. You can share your screenshots, project details, but when you're sharing your project queries, do not violate non-disclosure agreements or the NDAs. So that's one precondition when you're sending the project world related issues or real errors. Yep. Let's go over to the next question from Sadiq Sheikh. For certification perspective, these major change between SP7 and 11. Yes, so the release notes will be provided from the training support that will be able to guide you, and plus in the training I'll give you the hints. From a certification standpoint, you also have to write down the points, take screenshots about the steps, do the recording of the video when we're doing live sessions. Write down your notes, prepare, relate to the study materials that are offered from the training for your certification. That's how we're going to prepare the examination, and plus certification question bank to understand the pattern of the question trend. Do you have negative marking? How many questions? How many hours? How many types? Certification question trend analysis. We do that in final prep session. So the release notes will be provided, and that will be helpful to understand the delta level changes from the older version to the newer support pack. From a certification point of view, there is no particular major change because these support packs are technical remediation, bug fixtures, performance issue enhancements. Therefore, they're not related to the academic syllabus. Academic syllabus, certification, and the basic knowledge base is based out of the framework and the foundation, and the small delta changes are some part of the bug fixtures which are not included in your certification at all. Right? Although certification, you see that you have SP8, then you got SP10. In the future, you'll have SP12 by the end of the year, H2 2016. So these support pack are derived from revision numbers. Revision numbers are derived from bug fixtures and defects and other remediation, so they're not related to the exam. Exam will primarily be based out of the terminologies, definitions, and some of the basic academic topics that are given in your study materials. Next question from Prasad. Is it possible to have 151 certification with this course? Absolutely yes. 151 is slightly complex versus 142 or 141. 141, 142 will retire by the end of the month today, this month, June. And next month onwards, 1st of July, you have new 151 as a release notes for certification. I'll give you more details, session number 12. Let's go back to Sitapati. And Nikunj Thakur. Well, you can use the microphone. You're on unmute. Okay. Yeah, early question from Nikunj. Yeah, course specific to HANA certification covers all the topic of the same. Absolutely yes, and HANA certification topics. You can also refer our customer testimonials, meaning participants and the consultants' testimonials who have taken up the certification after completing the course. All right, so this is what we have. Any further questions from the other participants? Yep. Next query, Himanshu. Yes, you can do the recording yourself in your computer once you have the organizer access. You can also request the support staff to do the recording if you are going to miss first 2 sessions, for example, or you have other meeting. So you can inform at least 1 hour before the class, and the support staff will do the recording, send you a free download link. Yep. So you have option to inform, or you can do a recording during the live session at your local computer. So there is a option to do the recording in the webinar or the GoToMeeting. When you go into the menu on top, you will see View and do recording. You can do the settings of what is the file format that you would like to use for the recording in a local computer and have a destination location defined. Yep, that helps because you don't have to, again, wait for the recording to be uploaded. Sometimes recording may not be not very clear unless if you do it at your local computer. Yes, the recording, the links may be provided by the training support. You can contact the support staff, but it's always ideal to the recording at your local computer with your organizer access. Once you enroll, you'll have the access. All right, so this brings the end of the demo session today. We'll have our next first session that will be starting tomorrow. And please check your emails for the details about the timelines. It will be Monday to Saturday weekdays, same time. And you have your study materials provided by the training support, system access, and multiple documents beyond the certification. New documents beyond the certification will be provided by the training support according to the sessions. And then with your access, we'll request all to make sure that you're able to log in into the HANA. Everybody will have access as an administrator. We have access to 2 BW servers. We'll have access to 2 ECC servers before and after HANA. And we'll also have access to 2 HANA servers for our extensive research. And moreover, for the project work, we have created a Excel file that will give you outline. So apart from the academic terminologies that we learn here, definitions that we learn here, we will do a proof of concept in terms of academic developments, and we will learn the deliverables which are commonly expected with one of the preferred function module, which is the functional entity of the ERP, the finance module with the COPA. We'll bring that data in HANA, and we'll have our naming standard. We have certain deliverables. And for security consultant, you got an authorization matrix that you can use as template and scale out to more meaningful project work documentations. All right, so with this, we're going to close the demo session. We'll connect tomorrow first session, session 1, and take it forward. All right, so thanks, and good night and good day to all. Looking forward to connect with you, and I can assure that with this training program, you have a better learning curve and a good amount of confidence working in HANA engagement with different roles as an extractor, data modeler, report writing, security, administrator, and overall as an SAP HANA architect. Thank you, everyone. Good night, good day. Till then, take care and bye-bye.